All right. Welcome to today's office hours. Today we're going to visit the topic of real estate technology trends and some innovations, some things that we use within Realvolve and some of the technology integrations that we use, and just kind of go through some of this and open to questions. So one of the things that I want to make sure everybody knows is, coming to these, you can either raise your hand, you can type in the chat, you can unmute yourself. Please, this is very informal and open to you guys. So let me go ahead and get started. For those that don't know me, my name is Mark Stepp. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer here at Realvolve. Been here since the beginning. With me today is Kendra, and Kendra is with our Navigator team and in our premium services department, and just a wonderful person to know. If you don't know Kendra, definitely reach out, and she is amazing. Kendra, give us some background on you.
Yep, sure. So originally came into real estate on the investment side. I've been buying and reselling properties forever, and got into real estate, and my business background came out, and I just watched over and over successful people that were not doing successful things, and I really developed a passion for seeing what other people are doing and optimizing their processes and their businesses so that I could help them work more efficiently and hopefully go home at 5 o'clock. And I think that was one of the biggest compliments I ever got from one of my Realvolve customers. She told me, I'm getting off at 5 o'clock now. And so to watch, just you do the same things in a predictable way where you leverage technology and systems and processes and technology in a way that helps you, your business, is really where my passion is.
I love that. That was one of the things that really drove my drive to do what I do. And I've got a whole story on that, won't share today, but it's something where helping real estate agents be with their family is the thing that motivates me the most. So today's agenda, we're going to be talking about the technology trends. We'll go over some help and support stuff, some premium services stuff. One thing that I want to share with everybody that we did make a change on just recently is previous office hours. It seems like every time we come to office hours, and we do record this, and it's being recorded right now, I always stick it into the YouTube channel and typically put a link to it from our Facebook page. But inevitably somebody doesn't know where it's at or whatever. And so I've put together a new page for us here at realvolve.com/office hours. So you can just go straight to it. It'll open up. The nice thing about this is that it will show you the most current item that's in the list. Now, today's September 20th, and August 23rd is the most current one. We had a few days of storms and family deaths and stuff, so had to postpone a few of the events, but the newest one will always be in the list. Now, on this page, if you come to this page, you can obviously access our meetings at 10 o'clock on Wednesdays, and come here at 10 a.m. Central and click on the link. It'll open up the invite link, and you will get to this. On this screen, I do ask, if you guys haven't subscribed, click on subscribe. You'll get some notifications on that. And then if there's something that it's like, I really want to watch this, but I don't want to watch it now, make sure you hit the little clock. There's some shares. But the thing that's probably most important right here is the playlist. So this is the list icon that you can click on, and then you can see all the previous office hours that we've done through history here that have been put into this playlist area. So if there's a certain topic that maybe you wanted to hit and you didn't, or you did and you want to go back over it, you want to review it, go back to the date, go back to the topic or whatever, and then pull it up and then play it. It does offer the ability to go into full screen mode as well. You can watch it on YouTube, but it's all there. So just a much easier URL to remember, just realvolve.com/office hours, and make sure that you visit that. And then let me go ahead and close that. Come down here to today's topic. So I'm going to be going over basically 3 different integration / technology platforms. They're outside of Realvolve itself, but we have the ability to integrate with all 3 of them. First one being ChatGPT. Everybody's been hearing about ChatGPT. If you have not used it, actually in the chat, if you would just reply back, yes, I'm using it, or no, I'm not, or if you want to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, how much you use it. 1, very rarely. 10, I use it every day. And that might help us figure out some direction there. Used it for listing narratives. 6. Yeah, listing narratives. The best thing about ChatGPT is its ability to do some taking some content, summarizing it, expanding it. There's lots of different stuff. Bobby, yes, uses it 2 to 3 times per week. Great. All right. So we'll be going over ChatGPT. I'm also going to hit very briefly, and not go into huge depth, Dubb. And Dubb is basically the newest integration that was made for us. We really didn't do much to actually implement it, but it's similar to BombBomb, but it has some advantages that I haven't seen in BombBomb. Maybe they do have it, but some really good things that I think might be of great desire for some of the agents. And just want to point those out, some of the things that it has. And then also Zapier. Now, Zapier's been around forever and a day, but what's most important about Zapier is the integration spread that it does, because there are so many different applications, even ChatGPT, even Dubb, even all these newer technologies are creating integrations with Zapier that then it becomes relevant for virtually anything that you do in your business. Zapier can help automate a lot of different things. And Realvolve is not a catch-all. We don't do everything that needs to be done. There's a lot of things that we do time-wise for your workflows and stuff like that, but there are things outside of Realvolve that need to be done, but you can accomplish them sometimes within Realvolve automatically by using some of the integrations that we've got in there. And I think that's one of the things that I want to make sure that we cover the most. So of those 3 things, if you would in the chat, just put in the thing that you want to spend the most time on, that you're most interested in, ChatGPT, Dubb, or Zapier. And I'll kind of drive this based off of user input. Anybody have a preference? If not, I'll do them all fairly equally. Zapier I won't spend as much time on. All right. So let's start with ChatGPT. So what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is a generative pre-trained transformer, is GPT. And what that basically means, and put it in English terms, is it's using AI to generate text based off of what it's already learned. So one of the coolest things that you can do is, go out there and say, hey, take this sentence and restructure it in this language, or whatever. You can take virtually anything that's text-based, and even some things that are image-based coming up very soon. They're making some changes to be multimodal, which means they'll even do images and a few other things. But for right now, it's all text-based, and it lets you generate content. And content in this sense is virtually anything that that you need to hand out, to display on a website, on PDFs, on whatever, ads, things like that. And you no longer have to be creative. You can let ChatGPT do the creative part, and we'll cover a little bit of that. We're also going to cover how to use ChatGPT's functionality inside of Realvolve, and just doing that integration so that we can deal with templates, emails, and SMS. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to that right now. So if you go out to chat.openai.com, this is just the main site. You can log in, or you have to log in, and it will create a little login piece here. Now, I'm currently showing you the non-paid version, the public version. It's free. You can play with it. The challenges with this is that there are so many different people playing with it. Sometimes it gets busy and you can't really do anything on it. It kind of locks you out. It's gotten better as far as that goes, but it does limit you to the GPT 3.5 version, and which isn't, honestly, I almost prefer the 3.5 version. It's a little faster, but it's a lot cheaper to create the content if you're doing things, and I'll explain that here in a little bit as well. But on the left-hand side, we have what's called the chat history, the things that you've done in the past. You have an option to upgrade to the Plus version. Now, the Plus version, if you click on that, it gives you the option to pay $20 a month, and then you get the GPT-4 version, some additional plugins, and fast response. But it also makes sure that when it's busy, you get preferential treatment over people that are on the free plan. So that's kind of the big advantage there. But there are some definite advantages of being on the Plus. And I am a Plus member, but I wanted to show the non-Plus version. One of the things that, if you've not done this yet, I think it's really important for you to do is go into your account. You just click on here and go to the custom instructions. In custom instructions, it gives you the ability to set up a couple different common fields that you're going to be able to use all the time. If you want, you can turn it on to enable all the time, or you can choose not to. But tell ChatGPT who you are. Why are you in business? What do you do for work? What are your hobbies, your interests? Different things like that can be put in here, and it can use that as content or context to anything that is designed or developed. Okay, so that's important. The other field here is, how would you like ChatGPT to respond? Now, this is really important for whenever you're creating that content, so that it sounds like you. So one of the things that I do in here, I basically say, be verbose and descriptive, detailed and complete. That's how I try to talk. Provide thought-provoking and creative thinking pieces in there. And this is one thing that, if you're in there creating content for Realvolve, you might add one more piece in there, something like this, where it says, I use a CRM called Realvolve for emailing and SMS messages, and you use merge fields greeting, and you put in bracket greeting for the content's first name, and bracket signature for creating the salutation. Now, why is that important? Well, whenever you go and you say create an email or create a text message, it can go ahead and put these merge fields in here for you. Otherwise, typically it'll put something else in there, like bracket first name, or bracket last name, or at the bottom it'll put in bracket your first name, or your return information, whatever. And by telling it inside of the response area here, it now knows, hey, if I'm going to use this, let's use it the way the user wants. So it just makes it one step easier. You don't have to go in there and change it once you copy it. You can paste it into Realvolve and do that. So that is an option. Just saying, when creating, and then I'm actually giving it a sample. Dear greeting. This is how I want it. The body of the message, and then the signature. So you can give examples. That's one of the things that ChatGPT is the best at, is taking an example of something and mimicking it. And that's what it does. It's a great mimicker. The challenge with any of this type of technology, whether it's ChatGPT, it's Bard, it's Lard, and there's several different ones, Claude, all of them have the ability to do a couple things. Number one, they can be very biased at something. The information that's being returned can be biased in one way or the other. The other thing is it can hallucinate. So you got to be careful and read the content before you send anything out. Definitely do that. Because if you don't, it will potentially mess you up, and you don't want to get messed up. So let's just take a for instance here, and I'm going to grab one that I have previously done here. So just as a very basic, this is about as basic as it gets. Let me mute here. We've got some people that are live. Okay, so as a basic comment here, write an open house thank you message to send to everyone that attended today's open house at 123 Main Street. Now, I'm not sure it gets much more basic than that, but if I click on that, it'll go out and say, okay, here, thank you for attending, dear greeting. Now, because I had put that in that context area of how I want things returned, it put in my merge field for Realvolve, and it put in the signature for Realvolve.
Yeah, and you'll see oftentimes too, Mark, that it will include it by default, at least for me, it would just do single bracket. And so if you're not really familiar with Realvolve, or how that's set up, it's definitely looking for that double bracket, and you may not notice that. And so I would definitely suggest doing what Mark said, because Realvolve does recognize those double brackets. It's going to save you a lot of time and reduce potential error.
Absolutely. So what this did was it created me an email, subject line, dear greeting, whatever. So I could take this, right click, copy, and then paste it in there. It also did some additional things. In this case, is it said, hey, you might want a property description type thing. This charming property 123 offers, a spacious layout, beautiful garden. And this comes back to that hallucination piece that I just said. I didn't tell it that 123 had a garden. I didn't tell it that it was spacious. And the other thing is you've got to deal with equal housing issues. And that may be something else that you would want to do is, when creating content, make sure that it abides to equal housing regulations. It knows what equal housing is, so it can do that. So it created a bunch of stuff, and even continued on with another option. So things that it creates, again, you want to make sure that you use it, but it basically gave a couple different options there for content. If I liked it, but maybe I wanted it shorter, make the message for a SMS limited to 160 characters.
Hey, Mark, what would you suggest? I know a lot of times Realvolve comes with, no shortage of templates and things like that. What are some prompts you would suggest to take, a previously written template or verbiage that you've written and kind of give ChatGPT instructions to change the tone or to improve the message in some way? What are those things that you can come to mind for Realvolve?
Yeah, and we're going to get into that actually using this inside of Realvolve because we have our own integration. But I wanted to show this. But that's a great question. Maybe we want to rewrite this message with a do it anti or counterintuitive in a sad voice. Okay, that really isn't that much sad. Uh, uh, rewrite the message using a excited and vibrant tone of voice. You know, these are things that once you start getting into it, you can make it whoever you are, and I say that meaning if you are a vibrant person, if you're a sad person, if you know whatever. And that's one thing that's so important is whenever you're creating this content that you make it sound like you. And as people get to know you, they will be able to tell, how do you sound whenever you're writing content. And if something is off, the switch will be flipped and they'll know it, wasn't you. Quite possibly you are in an area where rewrite the message in Spanish. So very easily create a Spanish version, Japanese, Chinese, Russian, whatever, whatever languages that maybe you might be sending this out as, you can certainly make that happen. So just be aware that these are the things that are possible whenever you're using ChatGPT. Over on the left-hand side, it saves what you do. One of the things that I do want you to understand as well is that its memory of whatever you discuss in this session is limited to this session. So if you talk about yourself, you create content, about what services you do or whatever, if you start a new chat session, it will not remember that unless you're putting it into this custom instructions area. But it is limited, I think, to 1,500 characters or something. So it's very limited in its space. But make sure that you come back if there's something that you want to pick up on. Maybe you've created some content on a particular property, and you've let's just say you've created a property flyer. You've got some big details of all the content of that property, and then you go and you start another chat session. It doesn't know anything about that property. You need to go back to that session, and then it would remember what's in that session for you to create other content for that property. So you could very easily come in here and say, well, I want to create a session for each of my properties, and then creating all the content in those sessions together. So just keep that in mind. Any questions so far on this?
While they're thinking of questions, one thing that I'm a fan of specifically with real estate is to create initially, let's say I have a property, create a chat and open it up, giving ChatGPT specific information about that property, because we've tried it both ways. I think, several of us at Realvolve took our own addresses and said, tell me about this property or create a listing description based on this property. And Mark's 100% right? It will get some of the things right, likely if that information is out there on the web, but it's going to make a lot of things up too. And so what I like to do is, 123 Main Street is, a property in this location. It's in this neighborhood. It's this size. It's this many bedrooms, giving it all of the things. Once it has that information, then you can prompt it to do things, based on the description above, create a public remark section for this property, or, things like that. And you can keep that chat and go back to it when you need, because as you close those chats, they'll be available on the left for you to kind of to pull back from.
Create a property flyer for this information. Now, what I did, I just went out to Zillow real quick. I copied I just did a quick search for Bolivar and grabbed some of the content on the right hand side just to grab it. Now, obviously, you'd want to potentially go out to your MLS, grab your listing information, copy it, whatever. But it's got some very basic information about it. Let me see. Does it? I'm not sure that it has bedrooms, bathroom stuff in there on this one. Yeah, some basic stuff. So I can go out there and give it the basic details, and then it'll go out there and it'll start creating the content for that. So all kinds of potentials for doing things. And if you want to say make this larger, make this smaller, that's interesting. It's creating some image pieces here that I'm not sure why is there. Map location, some images. That's interesting. But here it did have some of the basic content and stuff that's there. So it definitely has the ability to do whatever you want to do and put it into whatever format you wanted to be looking at. So all right. So now, if you want to use this in Realvolve, now you can do this all day long. Cut, copy, paste. Go into Realvolve, go into the templates, and be able to copy and paste that content into the templates, just like anywhere else. However, what we've done is in Realvolve, let me just say I want to author a new template. In Realvolve, we have created our own little ChatGPT icon here. And let's just say open house, thank you, and make it a contact work template. And I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to give it that exact same message. Now, because I'm starting off in a template and it doesn't have any content, it knows I don't need to include any of the message. We have 3 checkboxes in here that give you the ability to say, well, I want to include the message that's already there as context. I want to include a greeting, and I want to include the signature for Realvolve. So I can just type in the exact same message that I did previously and say generate. So now what it does is it uses ChatGPT's API, the connectivity, and it does the same thing, basically going through and creating the same content. It does go ahead and build in the signature and the greeting and the signature and building all that. If I, down here at the bottom, I have the ability to then say, well, I want to add this to the message, or I want to replace the entire message. So if you had a message there and you wanted to replace the entire contents of whatever's in here to be put into here, you'd want to replace the entire thing and then just click on OK and it puts it in. Let's say we save this and maybe I want to copy or paste it, or I want to do something and make a change to it. Maybe I want to have the same message, but I want to, and in this case, it knows that there's a message. It doesn't really care, since there's a message in there, it doesn't really care whether the signature and greeting is there because it probably is already there, but it will leave it if it's there. Rewrite message in Spanish. So you can take whatever messages, templates that you currently have, and then have the system then rewrite it in the language that you want it to speak in. It'll go through and do that. Maybe you want to change the voice in it. Maybe you want to change, whatever you're wanting to change, make it longer, make it shorter, You can do all that. All the creativity is based off of what's in your head. So you can really do whatever you want to with that. Same type of thing is available in SMS messages. Whenever you click on, I'm just going to click on new template and change this to an SMS. The icon is down in the lower left corner. And whenever you click on that, same prompt, same abilities, same capabilities to do the things that you want to do to generate content. So that's there. If you are in a contact record, a property record, transaction record, and you're sending emails and you want to write it kind of one off, we do the exact same thing. Whenever you're in the email here, you can click on this and say, write a happy birthday message, Mark, and wish his dog a happy day too, whatever. I don't even have a dog. Now, I didn't even spell birthday right, but it'll interpret it right. And because happy birthday, Mark, and there's the, the full thing. It did bring in, because I had chose message, it did change the signature part and included that. I could take that off and choose add to message, and boom, and then put a subject in there and send it. So you have all kinds of abilities here to do the things that you want to do to personalize and not have to worry about being creative. It does the creativity pieces for you. Any questions about ChatGPT that I can answer? I spent a lot more time on it than I was actually going to. We have a question. How about a surprise voice that no offer was made to that date? Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Let me just copy this. Come here in ChatGPT. Write a message to the seller. And I just kind of copy what you said in there. And
you didn't hit generate.
Oh, dang it. You can't take stupid out of this.
It's just muscle memory. You wanted to hit, okay.
I guess so. Write a message to the seller about,
with a surprise voice that they haven't received an offer on their home yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, generate. Try that again.
And while that's doing that, I would just add to it, just, sometimes people, you may overthink of what you need to ask it. Just ask it a simple question, look at what it responded and adjust based on what it did. Is the message too long? Go up there and adjust it, no more than 500 characters. Is it in the wrong tone? You can change that. So you can kind of play with it as it gives you responses and resubmit it to get a better response.
Yeah. So here, it wrote an entire thing on the seller being surprised. I mean, there's just all kinds of potential here for creating this. And I mean, I could not have typed that entire thing in as quick as it took for it to generate and, be able to then put in here, and I can replace the message or add it to the message and then just hit okay. And then it puts it in. So, in this case, it did give me the subject. I'd want to copy that, paste that up in here, and then take that out, read through it, make sure, I did what I did. I did say dear seller, and I did not tell it to use merge fields, so it didn't use the greeting and signature fields. But those are the things that, as you start using it, it's like, oh yeah, I can simply do this. So it's very easy. All right. So that pretty much covers the basics of ChatGPT. There's so much you can do with that. The more time you spend in it, the more time you're going to spend in it. It becomes a way of doing business that is changing how everybody is doing everything. And if you're not using it, you're going to be left behind. I keep saying that to people in webinars and everything. And I truly believe that you guys really need to be using its capabilities. There is a terminology for creating these messages, and it's called a prompt engineer. Whenever I'm prompting something, I'm asking it questions, you get back what you ask. If you ask a dumb question, you're probably going to get a dumb answer. If you put in a very detailed question, very precise on what you're wanting, you're going to get a much better response. Being a good prompt engineer will give you that ability. Yes, you can still be a real estate agent and be a good prompt engineer. You're a prompt engineer whenever you ask your assistant to do something for you. You have to be detailed at times. You know, how do you want this done? If they're smart, if they're good at what they do, if they know you, you may not have to give them as much detail. But, you know, if you give them a bad question, they're going to create bad stuff. ChatGPT is the exact same way. So,
Plus, if you're a real estate agent, you have to be a superhero and you can do anything. So
absolutely.
ChatGPT's up there. Daryl had a question. Does AI have an affirmative voice? I'm assuming, are you asking, can you tell it to speak in an affirmative voice?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. There's no shortage of voices or tones that you can tell it to speak in. I've had it rewrite messages as a Irish leprechaun, and it does that well too. So
yeah,
it definitely can.
You can. One of the things that I do encourage people, if you are a blogger, if you go out and you write blogs, and in the past you've written your own blogs, you can take an existing blog, copy and paste it, and say, ChatGPT, tell me what voice this is written in. Paste it in, and it will come back and give you that voice. It'll give you that descriptive. And then you can then paste that into that area that says reply in this voice. You know, you don't have to make it up yourself. You can have ChatGPT analyze your own voice to see where you're at and how you write based off of the creativity and everything. So
one more suggestion on ChatGPT, Mark, because I know you're trying to go into Dubb, but another thing I find myself doing a lot, especially with long emails, is asking ChatGPT to include or improve the readability of the message. And I think that's super important because if you look at something and it looks daunting to you, it's going to look daunting to someone else. And so the ChatGPT can even take that into consideration and structure it so it's actually more visually appealing to read. And so it's something I find myself doing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this is used every day from everybody, but you know, write this so a fifth grader can read it. You know, if you're writing something that is very technical, but you want everybody to be able to understand it, then you know, definitely have it rewrite it so that it's understandable. You know, it makes it so much easier, takes out the big words, and uses example type stuff. So lots of good content there. All right, so Dubb. What is Dubb? Dubb, like I said before, for those people that are familiar with BombBomb, it is a way to send videos through messaging services, either email, SMS. You can even do it in Facebook, Twitter. I mean, there's lots of other potentials there with links and stuff. But it basically allows you to send video in different ways. We'll show a little bit about using Dubb and then how to integrate Dubb. So I'm going to come over here to Dubb. And just prior to doing this, this office hours, I logged in my Dubb account and I clicked on the little camera here to record a video. So whenever you do that, it comes in. I can choose with Dubb, I can choose to create do something with webcam, with screen recording. I can bring in YouTube videos. I can upload my own video. I can do just voice. There's some cool stuff with voice there. And there we go. And you can choose lots of different settings. The thing about Dubb is that what they do post kind of after the creation of this. So I'm going to create just a really quick video and just kind of show you this, how this can be done. So the record button here on the screen, I'm just going to create it with this information. I do have some options for mirroring, for blurring the backgrounds, things like that, virtual backgrounds. There is a teleprompter so that I can set up a teleprompter that can go based off of a speed and just prompt me on what to say if I want to do that. I'm dyslexic, so reading a lot of things is a challenge for me. I do much better vocally, but in either case, let's just do this real quick. Hey, everybody, just want to thank you for attending today's office hours. I hope it was helpful for you. We traveled through a lot of different technology. We talked about the ChatGPT, we talked about Dubb, and also Zapier. Just hope you got a lot out of it. If there's anything I can do for you, please reach out. I want to be here for you. Have a great day. Okay, so quick video. And here's where the magic happens. And what I really like about Dubb is that you can take that quick video, it will bring it into the video area, and basically now it's part of the library. So I can use it as many different times as I want to. One of the things that it does, though, automatically is it creates a page for you, and you can set up different default pages, some presets that they call them, and say I want to use Mark's default preset, and it assigns that design of whatever it is that you've set up as a preset, and then I can go out there and share it. And now I'm just going to go ahead and click on the open button here. But what this does, which is so genius, is that it creates a landing page for you. Now, in that landing page is the player. Hey, everybody, just wanted to thank you for attending today's office hours. Okay, so that's great. At the same time, it has registered that somebody has visited, somebody has played, and down at the bottom, it's got all my contact information. It's got the reply to the video, so the person that's receiving this by email can reply to that through an email. They can visit your websites. In this case, I've got a book. It's out on Amazon. If I wanted this to go out, people can read that book or get that book through Amazon by clicking that book. I've got a link here to say get Dubb, just making sure that people know about it. But you can create these buttons however you want. The design, the cover, the colors, whether these are some other options that I want to put in my video, so that for certain topics, which might be an open house, maybe this was an open house message, and I have 3 other houses that are very similar to this, and I've done walkthroughs through those. I could put those 3 houses right there. How powerful is that? You send out one email and it gives you all this information to the reader, and gives them resources to go to. It gives them the ability to reply to your message. It gives you all the stuff. So it gives you all the call to actions that are needed for that one email. That's powerful. So once you set these presets up the way you want, you create some libraries of videos. Then at any point, and if they try to leave, you can, it'll pop up an exit pop-up, which is cool. So it gives you lots of capabilities. Now I can come over here and take a look at all my videos. So here's the video I just did, the one previous, some office hour stuff, some secret stuff talking about Dubb. These are the videos that's in my library. You'll create your own library. You can create different types of assets for the different calls to action. What do you want them to do? If they land on a certain page, you can set up buttons. These are all just different buttons that you might want them to do. The presets allow you to design the layouts. And I've only got one layout, but you can come in here and you can choose to edit. What do I want the buttons, the call to actions to be? Do I want a certain type of background? What's the name of this thing? What are the video options that I want? These are all different things that you can choose to have available, all your color schemes, the background image that goes along with that. So, whenever you look at this, there is a background image. You can't really see it in this version, but I can just change any of these very easily. This is the left justified version versus the center. So if I come over here and choose the centered version, and save that as my default. Now, I think maybe, let me do a reset here. There we go. Because I chose to change my default, now my message is different. My message looks different. So it's constantly live. So every time somebody visits this page, they click on it, they play the video, they do any kind of emotions, I get notified. If they visit one of my social media ones, I get notified. So these are all very business oriented call to action things that's going to help improve the response that you get to anything that you send out. Now, what does this mean in Realvolve? So you can go into, once you get a Dubb account, and I've got a link here, dubb.com/r/Mark Stepp. I have a free account through Dubb, so I don't really get anything, but they do give me the ability to do a 50% off, I think, or $50 off the first month option. There's some special things in there. There is a trial on it. You can play with it, do a lot of things. There's some different options, but definitely take a look at it. Once you have that account, one of the things that you can do is in Chrome, there is a Chrome extension. So you can create a link, just go into your manage extensions, add the Chrome extension, and now with this in place, because it's in place in Chrome, it goes ahead, they've incorporated in Realvolve an integration so that I can create a Dubb video either in SMS or in my emails. Let me just do a new, actually, I think I already did one. So here is, a video. I can create my merge fields just like I did, send it out, do the things. But right here is the little Dubb icon. So I can click on Dubb. It'll open up. It'll let me pick a video that I've already got saved and inserted into the writing area. I can use my webcam to create a new one. I can do screen grabs and screen record. I can upload. I can use YouTube videos. There's lots of things that's built in. And all I have to do is say select. Once I select it, then it inserts it into the Realvolve message area. How cool is that? And it's just because of having that Dubb account and having it as a Chrome extension, automatically adds this icon and the other icon to SMS to be able to do the additions. So yes, through if I do it as an SMS, it will do it as a link. So it is a little bit different So if I say I want to create this and insert the video, it creates it as a link that would be received. And then it does have some integration capabilities. If you know the person's email, and we could put in a mail merge field in this case, of the person's email for Realvolve, as a bracket email address, then we know specifically who is receiving that. So that's a big win as well. So each time that person receives it, you can go in there and know that which person actually got that email. Any other questions? Any questions on that? What do y'all think about that? How many of y'all have used or have BombBomb? Do they have that similar type of integration? I've not seen it, but I don't use BombBomb a lot. I don't know if anybody has or has not. Okay.
Mark,
Yes. You can send now if you use Messenger or whatever, you can even use it in that. So you can paste it into MMS messages. Realvolve only sends SMS, the simple messaging service, where MMS is multimedia. Have used BombBomb. They did take away the return with video. They did take away the return with video. Oh, you can't do a return message. That's interesting. The reply, is that, guess what you're saying? Anyway, so those are some ways to use in Realvolve some technology, both the ChatGPT and the Dubb, in a multitude of ways. Definitely do that. We are running out of time. I really wanted to spend a little bit of time with Zapier as well. We do have all kinds of Zapier training in our office hours. Definitely go back to our replays on there. But for those that aren't familiar with what Zapier is the integration point from one application to another. So if you wanted to integrate some ChatGPT stuff with maybe Google Docs, you can use Zapier to do that. If you want to send that ChatGPT information to Google Docs, or maybe a form, you can do that. Use the form then to fill out information to send to Realvolve, a contact. Zapier is the connectivity point between two applications, two SaaS, software as a service applications. So if you want to go from one thing to another, check Zapier, because it can do all kinds of very sophisticated stuff. I have lots and lots of things set up, an open house registration form. So I use a Google form. That Google form fills in a Google Sheet. Whenever that Google Sheet gets filled out, it automatically adds the person that visited that open house, puts them into Realvolve, and then automatically starts a workflow for that open house. That open house then could send a message that was generated with the ChatGPT that also included a video from Dubb. I mean, all of this ties together very nicely. It's just a matter of thinking, how do I want to use it? Any questions there? Okay. We are right at time. Unless we have some specific questions about Zapier, I'm not going to go into it. Like I said, there's lots of additional things in there. We went live. Premium services. I think right now we're full on premium services. Is that correct, Kendra?
Yes, I believe so. But if you guys have interest in it, or you're, you need additional resources, we also have Zapier setup services. So, if you guys have questions on any of that, feel free to reach out to sales at Realvolve or Kendra at Realvolve if you have questions on how any of those programs work. If we are full, we do have waitlist services, so don't hesitate to reach out if you need help with anything.
Coming up, building and maintaining. Is this an old one, or did you put this in?
Nope, those are coming up.
Okay, good. I don't even know what's coming up. Sorry about that, guys. The building and maintaining a strong referral network, client communication, follow-up techniques, and the power of video marketing in real estate. So some great content coming up. If you guys like what you've seen, definitely spread the word. We want to make sure that everybody knows about this and gets the information. And for additional help, you guys can get help in a multitude of different ways. The how do I, the submitting a support ticket, clicking on help. There's lots of different options. And I've got 2 minutes left open for any questions about anything else. Going once. Going twice. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for attending today's session. And if there's anything that either Kendra or I can do, please don't hesitate to reach out. We want to help you guys and make sure that you guys are successful. So have a great day, guys. Bye.